Hello, Board Game Shenanigans here. So now for something completely different. Doing a bit of an unboxing here on something nothing to do with board games. Just decided to make this one because it's just something a little different, a little not really many people have unboxed this on YouTube yet, and just something that I've purchased recently that I've been looking forward to getting after I pre-ordered it. So this is delivered to me by the Federal Express here, and I think I've got my information in there, so I won't be showing that. Yeah, so I'll remove that. But this in particular, if you can read it, a big box here. It is the Xenoblade original soundtrack Trinity box. So this is a video game series, Xenoblade Chronicles, which started out on the Wii in 2010-ish here in the UK when it came out, and this is the full soundtrack box set for the first 3 games, not including the Chronicles X spin-off type game. So this is nicely wrapped from Japan, so it's imported, and it's a CD set with full soundtrack for the games as they exist, and it's just a matter of what the one to get, because Xenoblade Chronicles is one of my favourite video games. So because of that, and they have a really good soundtrack, it's something really good to have, and I'm going to use this for several things. Listen to it, in the car, listen to it just in the house, put it on my computer, put it on my phone, put it on my iPod, and also just to listen to it maybe when I'm playing games, or playing video games, playing board games, whatever I'm doing, really. Editing videos. It's good to put in the background. So this is based on the game. There's like a Trinity processor. That's why it's called the Trinity processor box, because this is part of the story. Won't go into it, but part of it is there are these symbols which characters in the game will have on them, and they're part of this processor unit, which that's like representing them, and these are like powerful devices which can give power to people, and it's been designed to run this processor, which is, well, I won't spoil the game for those who haven't played it, but that's inside the box there. And then you see we have a list of CDs here, each an individual packets, and all the way down, and then there's a bit of a book at the end. So I'll just go through some. So each have got art from the games. So this is Shulk, the main character from the first game, and Fiora, and Shulk will be playable in Smash Brothers, which is probably more people know about Smash Brothers than they do about Xenoblade, I'm sure. And then on the back of silhouettes. And then you've got the first disc here. Let's get it out just to see how easy they are. Nice and clean. You've got the Xenoblade 1 cover art on the inside. And I'm sure they'll list what songs are on each track on that book on the end, I'm sure. So let's just go through each one. More characters from the first game, Ryan and Charla. Open that one up. Again, same thing. It's probably each disc is probably for each game. So red's going to be Xenoblade 1 type of disc. Again, nothing there. They keep seeing the different reds, different shades are going for each different disc as well. So carrying on, Xenoblade 1 again, more of that soundtrack. I won't take all the discs out, just go through these. More from Xenoblade 1. Xenoblade 1 again. This is going to be the Switch version, where it's remastered, and the definitive edition, and they did an extra bit of story at the end there, and that's what these character designs are from. They've changed that. Again, the discs match the colour, so it looks like each colour disc, it's hard to put on the camera, but it's like a pinky colour just like the top, so you know where each discs come from if you decide to take these out. So now we've got Xenoblade Chronicles 2. We have Rex, Pyramithra. This is DLC in Smash Brothers. If you've played that, I think more people will have played that than these games. But in general, these games have amazing soundtracks, well put together. Each area's got its own song. Sometimes the songs are different between day and night in most areas. So each of these characters are each in the plot in the games. And the way it's kind of worked is that Xenoblade 1 and 2 kind of happen at the same time. If you've played them, you'll know that they happen like simultaneously. And then Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which came out for the Switch last year, that kind of rounds it all off together. And they all meet up there, kind of thing. It's like the end of the story. So each character, these are all from 2. We've got more to come. Again, more characters from 2. So it's, you know, a Japanese RPG if you haven't played it, and it's not a turn-based RPG, but it has a combat similar to, say, Final Fantasy 12, if you've seen that one. And you like pick an art to do, and it's like not real time, but more like you have a move that you play and you do, and then it goes and attacks. So these last few, this last disc here, this is going to be the Torna DLC for the second game, and then this is moved into Chronicles 3, which is the newest game. So then I'll take this one out and see the art of the cover. So it's the front cover art for most of these on the inside. Yeah, so overall it's a really good series from what I've played. I've played through all the trilogy and most of the DLC stuff there. I've not done all of it. I think that I just need to go back and do, but it's just more that these games are always so long already. There's always so much more to do after they've done the game, and I enjoy that more. Just, you know, keep playing and doing everything and trying to do all the bosses and stuff they have in the post game as well. Again, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is going to have a lot here because that soundtrack is really long. There's a lot more in it, so I think there's a lot more of these discs in the box. Yeah. But yeah, they are some of the best JRPGs out there, I'm sure. I've not played much better. They have a lot to them. The story's quite in-depth. And, you know, people who enjoy it really get into it, I'm sure. It's just... and then this is the newest DLC that they've made for number 3, which just came out in, like, May. So that's 20 discs, and there's 20 discs there, and has the whole soundtrack on it. And then this booklet will go through the tracks, I'm sure. So yeah, music list. So they're in Japanese and English, fortunately, so we can read them. So you have the main theme, different songs for cutscenes. This is generally stuff that's in cutscenes. These are one of the places you go in the game. It's the definitive edition version. So the soundtrack here is they redid the soundtrack for the original game with the definitive edition. So if it's a song that got updated, they'll note it here, but it doesn't have the original. It doesn't seem that it does. It just has the new versions of the remake songs, which they're just as good, really. They're just a bit of a different style. If you're used to the old one, you might prefer it, and I played the original game, so I'm more used to the old tracks. But there's about 20 tracks on the first disc, so about 20 per disc. So 20 tracks per disc on 20 discs. You can see why I purchased this, because it's like 200 tracks there of the games going through. And this is coming up to the end of the game. Then you'll have the DLC extra definitive edition tracks, and then they've started here where Xenoblade 2 starts, and all the rest of the tracks. So there was 5 discs with 20 tracks on the first 4 and 17 on the last one here. So that's 117 tracks there for, 97 tracks for the first game there. And then again, more on here, and there's the art from the games in the background as well. Just go through quickly. You can find the full list of the songs online. And then end disc 12 at 11, we get the end of Chronicles 2, and then the discs 12 to 20 are all Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So there's quite a lot more tracks in this game. If I had to put down what my favourite soundtrack is, I'd say Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as the best one. I think they have the most like high action type songs in the game. The battle themes are pretty good, and then the themes for the different areas are quite really good as well. Like you'll play, if you play the game and you get into like the first game, you get to like go off playing and you're like, whoa, this song's amazing. It's like that happens a lot more in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I think. When you get to the new area and you get the new song, you're like, whoa, because it really sets the tone. Because good music can make a game that's might not be everyone's cup of tea even better, I think. And Xenoblade might be one of those games. I think that the combat, it's harder to get into and harder to master what you have to do with it. But when you get onto the music, I think that bolsters it up for most people to make it a more better experience when they're playing it. So here in the back, we've got quite the lyrics for these songs. So that's the ending theme for the first game. This is a theme from the second game, usually in the middle of the game. That's like another song in the second game. This one as well. So it's like all the songs with lyrics really here. That's the ending theme for number 2. And that's the ending theme of... Oh no, that's the ending theme number 2. Which one was that one then? One last year. I think they're both ending themes kind of thing. Step Away, that's the one from Xenoblade 3 now. Where We Belong and Future Awaits. These are all Chronicles 3 lyrics. And bit here from the composer saying what they think about the game, what they're making the game, I'm sure, making the soundtrack. So all the different team members talking about that. Number 3, yeah, another one, which is from Kenji Hiramatsu and Minami Kiyota as well. So goes through all the people who've done songs for the game. Everyone's given their own opinion on it, how they found it, because this is kind of like rounding off the series as well. Like they've done a trilogy, they may do more, they may not sure just yet, but they kind of rounded out that storyline, I think, with the games, and it's taking out everyone who's made this music, everyone involved. Yeah, showing off everything just to make sure it's all there. All the different soundtrack credits, which will be in the game as well. All the different musicians involved. Quite a lot in this book. Yeah, and then that's where it's from. Procyon Studio is the place that sells these soundtracks, so they'll probably still have some available. This is all different logos, so you've got the Definitive Edition, and that's the Future Connected like DLC that they made when they released Definitive. That's the original game, and that's the Torn expansion, and then that's the number 3 game, and then that's the Future Redeemed expansion. So there's like DLC soundtracks and the game soundtracks all included. So for all the games, a bit sticky in this. Got that smooth type of book, but here we go. And then you've got the empty box, which all the CDs go in. Makes a bit of a stain when you're handling it. I've got a bit of a dent in there from shipping it all the way from Japan, but I'm not planning on selling this or anything with that. I'm planning on keeping it and using it, so not the end of the world for me. But there we go. And the lid can go back on, and you can make use of these CDs. Yeah, so that's just a bit of a quick, different type of video there. If there's any video games that you guys are into, just comment down below and say what you think of different games. Is there any soundtracks that you have to like buy? Because like for me, I don't buy too many CDs, but when it comes down to getting like some like a collector's set like this, I'm like, ooh, that's something to actually pick up, especially because Xenoblade soundtrack is you know, it's not available readily online. It's on like YouTube and things, but there's no like streaming service with it on that I can use. I just thought best to own it and own the CDs and own like a little collector's item like this. So thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe. Bye.